Okay, so this reviews the three special problems and pronouns that we looked at. So the first one is a pronoun used as an appositive should be in the same case as the word to which it refers. This means that if you have two nouns and one of them is like a pronoun, usually it looks like this, noun, comma, pronoun, comma, or there are no commas. But anyway, you have a noun and a pronoun, and this pronoun is the same person, place, or thing as this noun. This pronoun has to be the same pronoun you would use in place of this noun. The second one is watch out with the word than. A pronoun following than or as an elliptical construction should be the same as it would be if the construction were completed. And then the rule about reflexive pronouns, self or selves, they can't be used as subjects. Remember that. Okay, down here we have the pronoun, it talks about who versus whom. Nominative is who, and objective is whom, and possessive is whose. Let's do some of these down here. Since no one else would do it, we cleaned the garage. Now, what they're asking for here is a reflexive pronoun or an intensive pronoun that goes back to the word we. So this is going to be third person, ourselves. First person plural. Oh, ourselves, darn it. This is an intensive pronoun because it has no grammatical function in the sentence. It doesn't serve as any kind of direct object or anything. Number two, Michael gave something. We're going to say himself. This is an indirect object, so this is reflexive. Number two, you should allow yourself. And this is an indirect object, so this is also reflexive. Number four, Karen asked herself. I think this is this is reflexive. It's going to serve a function here. Number five, the owner of the shop, that's our subject, Mr. Iwai, makes all the furniture. Mr. Iwai is a man, and he's the subject here of the sentence, so the reflexive pronoun is going to be himself. Now this himself doesn't serve a function. I can delete it, and the sentence works out just fine. This is an intensive pronoun. All right, so that was easy. Below, though, we have 15 either-or propositions, so you just have to pick one pronoun or the other. I'll do 3 of these, and then I'll stop and give you a chance to work on it. Jenna and I or myself are responsible for the party decorations. Jenna and I, this here is the subject of the sentence, right here. And the rule with reflexive pronouns is that you can't use them as subjects, so I'm going to say I, because I can't say myself as a subject. Number 7, Philip Roth, who or whom wrote the book. So when you have who or whom at the beginning of a clause, and we do right here, this is the whole clause, the procedure here is to look at the purpose of this pronoun in the clause. So here's the verb and here's a DO. So in this case, who or whom is doing the action of writing. It is the subject to this verb, so we're going to say who. And I'll do one more. Number 8, the 2 top-rated players, George and blank, will be playing again on Saturday. So this is an appositive right here. That's an appositive. And the rule with appositives is that you would choose the pronoun that matches the use of the noun in front of it. So in this case, the 2 top players is the subject. This here is the subject to the verb will be playing. So we're going to choose the one we would use for a subject. So it's going to be she. Because the rule is, in this second noun here between the commas, the pronoun we would choose here has to be the one we would use here. And you wouldn't say her will be playing, you would say she will be playing. Go ahead and do 9 through 15. I'll wait a few seconds. All right, so I'm now going to go over 9 through 15 really quickly. Number 1, I don't sing as well as he. The reason is that this is an elliptical construction. There are words left off here. The word left off is sings. It should be, if you were to, not should be, it's fine as is, but if you were to write out the whole thing, you would say, I don't sing as well as he sings. And so you just want to be on the lookout for as. Another word to be on the lookout besides as is the word than. So you want to really be skeptical of pronouns after as and than, because there's probably a verb left off or a verb in between the word and that choice. Number 10. The two representatives to the National Congress will be the twins, Marla and him. So here is our verb, and the twins here is a predicate nominative. It's after a linking verb. So I have to choose in the appositive here. That's what this is, an appositive. It's a noun that it identifies what this noun is, and it's touching it. You're going to choose the one you would use for a predicate nominative, which means the nominative case, so I'm going to say he. Number 11. I'll be expecting a response tomorrow from Nedra and yourself or you. So here is a preposition, which means Nedra and this choice is an object of the preposition. So we're going to use the word you. We're not allowed to use the word yourself because the subject of the sentence is I. So if the subject is I, we can't use a reflexive pronoun that's second person. The only reflexive pronoun we would be allowed to use in this sentence is one that reflects the subject. I will be expecting. Number 12. In the end, we just played a better game than. So here's that word we need to be really careful about, than. It's like up here we have than. I mentioned that. This is elliptical. There are some words left off here. In the end, we just played a better game than they played. So this word is there. Even though they didn't write it, it's there in your mind. It's understood. So we would say they played, not them played, because it's the subject. 13. Who or whom did the class select as homecoming queen this year? Now this is a question, so they've put something out of order here. They've put the who or whom out of place. It doesn't actually belong here. Here's the verb, select. And the class is the subject. Usually, we would say who at the beginning of the sentence because you might think that who is a subject. But actually, whom receives the selection. So whom is a direct object. That means the objective case, and whom is the objective case. It's a direct object. Number 14. Be sure to give whoever or whomever is going directions to the concert hall. So here is a noun clause. Here is our verb. The subject of is going will be one of these two pronouns. So we need the one we would use for a subject, and that's the nominative case. So we would say whoever for a subject. It's the subject in this clause here, whoever is going. Number 15, the president presented the activists, Todd and her. This is an appositive here. And this noun in between the commas is a restatement of the noun right in front of it. And we have to use the pronoun we would use right here. This here is the verb, and here's our subject. The president presented the activists. And I think this is a direct object. I'm going to say it's a direct object. Either way, this is going to be objective case because this is a direct object. The only other possibility is it's an indirect object, but I don't think so. I think it's a direct object. Anyway, the objective case is her, and I know that because I wrote them down on my list.